Yes, we're discussing Nigerian leagues and why the teams haven't been doing well in the continent, both in the Champions League and in the Confederations Cup. Anybody that was representing Nigeria was kicked out and also lost the Confederations Cup. So we don't know what could be causing, the drop in form when it comes to playing other African teams. As usual, I have my panelists here, and I have my good friend Otu here. Otu, you're welcome.
As you can see, our clubs have been failing us at the continental level, and I think we just have to get it right.
Yeah, and I also have Mr. Bora here, as usual, with me.
Always welcome, always available. I'm ready to discuss the topic.
All right. Going straight away, Nigerian leagues. What do we say is the problem? As in, why aren't our teams moving ahead when it comes to the Champions League in Africa and the Confederations Cup? Enyimba was kicked out recently, and we don't have any other team representing Nigeria. So what do you feel is the problem?
I think it's to me it's diversity. I think to me, the passion that we Nigerians have in our local football has gone down the drain, and that's why you see that stakeholders could not have their invest in the game of football locally. Yes, that's why they felt that we Nigerians, we don't have passion for the local league anymore. Everybody keeps shouting up Chelsea, up Man U. Whereas we are here in Nigeria, nobody said, oh, Enyimba. Nobody said, hey, up Kano Pillars. So it's how we, the followers, follow the game of football that we attract the stakeholders to invest into the game of football. Then when they invest, you now see that players will now be playing willingly once they know that they have something in their coven. For us to be compared with teams from South Africa, teams from Egypt, like Al Ahly, Zamalek of Egypt, like Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates in South Africa, you see how the interest of the fans there based on their local league is higher compared to here in Nigeria.
So I say the interest we have here is not comparable, or not even a help at all.
At all. Gone are the days in the 70s and the 80s when we have clubs like ACB, we have clubs like stationery stores, we have clubs like Abiola Babes. You see the passion was there. The fans go to the stadium, they do all these things. All these clubs I'm mentioning are private owned clubs. You understand? But thereafter, government came onto board and all that. But at the end of the day, individuals can still come in. But the problem now lies that, look, football can't give us returns. So why are we going to venture in football? I think that is one of our major problems as far as
it says returns. Part of the problem when people who are supposed to invest in the teams don't feel they'll get their money back, and because the interests of the people are not in the local leagues. Do you feel that's part of the reason why our teams are not doing well?
I think I would oppose to that direction, because this competition that we're talking of, I mean the CAF Champions League, started in the year, I think, 1964. And Enyimba was the first Nigerian club to win it, I think 2003 and 2004. Then we've had some other clubs like Rangers and Heartland coming up as runners-up and all that. I think before now, I think the government was trying. They were really putting in effort, but I think over time they just neglected the game at the local level. So I think that has been the major reason why our clubs have been failing. They've not actually been funding this competition, the clubs rather, the way they're supposed to be funding the clubs. And of course, if you don't fund a club, how do you expect that club to perform? You don't fund a club, you need to get good players, you need to pay good salaries. If you don't have all these things in place.
It's the same thing you say, like, because they're not getting the investments needed, in those clubs, because the interest of the people who are not there.
That's what I'm saying. I think if the government have done enough.
You want the government to be part of it, and you feel the government is not doing enough?
Yes, they are not just doing enough to assist the game. in the country. They are doing enough. I think our clubs will be competing. They will, you see the likes of Alali and the rest. They buy foreign players. They invest a lot into their clubs. So if the government is able to invest into these clubs, inject funds into these clubs, I think the failure of our clubs at the continental level will be minimal. We'll begin to get the best out of our clubs.
Let me chip in. You mentioned Enyimba 2003, 2004. To me, it's the passion from Orji Uzor Kalu, the then governor of Abia State, not because he is a government personnel. It's because he has passion and he invested more into it. If we have somebody like Dangote, someone like Adenuga, they all project into the game individually. See, every time in this country we like saying government. Everything shouldn't be government. We should have non-governmental organization to come into the game as well. Look at it now. Chelsea is not being owned by government. Man U is not being owned by government. These are clubs that are owned by individual. Go to even here in Africa, Al Ahly and Co. TP Mazembe is owned by a gold company, and they are running it fine.
I'll totally disagree with you on that, because when you go back to the drawing board, when you want to draw back to memory lane, I think when you say private individuals, where are the Udoji Uniteds of those days? Where are the Julius Bergers of those days? Where are the Iwanyao Nationals of those days? These are privately run clubs. So if you are talking of that private individuals should run, I think the private individual is not the issue. I think government has the financial capability more than these private individuals to run these clubs, because these private individuals will run the clubs to some extent, and probably when they now go bankrupt, the club will now fall automatically. So I think the government should play a major role in running this club, because they have the financial muscle to actually take this club to the next level.
Down the years, maybe you are not aware that majority of we sport analysts have complained that government interference into the game of football is high and is not giving the club edge to do things independently. See, but the question mark is, that's why I'm saying let's kick out government out of it. Let's get our own individual. We have our own Abramovich here in Nigeria. We have the Abu Dhabi's families here in Nigeria that has the money to run clubs. That's why I give an example of Dangote that saying, okay, I want to go and buy Arsenal. Why can't he start with Kano Pillars first? Let's see what goes. After all, this we see Ufa Uba, we see MFM, a church, a pastor, Olukoya, what's his name, owns MFM.
How many CAF Champions League have they? How many appearances have they made in CAF Champions? How many trophies have this Ifan Yuba won? None. So it means that I think the private they are not, like, just like I said, and I'll still repeat, don't have the financial muscle to flex around, as in to bring these clubs to the next level. So why not leave it in the hands of the government, who I feel they are in a better position financially to actually catapult.
Don't you feel the government interference will restrict the clubs in a certain way, that they will have to play according to the dictates of the government, because if a club is given free hand, they'll be able to buy wherever they want to buy, set up their club the way they feel they can play. But when the government is involved, they are restricted. Don't you think so?
Well, when I say government, it doesn't mean that there won't be, like, there'll still be a club management committee or something. The major role that the government will just play is just in terms of the finance, just to finance the club. I think the running of the club, they will still have other people that, but I think because if you just remove government totally out of the running of football, even if you say, okay, so people should run it and dictate it, they will still need fund. They will still need fund to run this thing. So there's no way that you will not involve.
Same thing that makes government to take step backward still based that Are you telling me government should be funding what they will not gain anything from? The answer is no. The question mark is this: we Nigerians now, we valued entertainment, the entertainment industry even more than sports. I can give you a scenario. If here we are now at Bush Flavor, an upcoming artist is being invited here, you will see guys will come. If they say 10,000 gate fee, 20,000 gate fee, guys are ready to come. But if a nearest stadium is here and you tell me, oh, some Nigerian players are coming, you will see people even want to jump fence without even want to pay 1 naira. If they said, okay, the gate fee is 2,000 naira, people refuse. Tell your girlfriend that you want to go and watch ball at the stadium, you will see a reaction. But tell her that you want to go and watch, yes now, or okay, maybe your wife rather, or tell your girlfriend that okay, let's go to a hotel and you want to go and watch Olamide, man, she jump at you, you understand? So the mentality also is causing it that individuals and even governments doesn't want to venture in the game of football anymore because they know that they won't get anything in returns. Now all we are shouting is Obaka. Check our youths now. If you go and ask them what did Man U play this in, they don't know. But tell them ask them the latest song of Olamide, they will tell you. This is also, we are carried away with the foreign football. Likewise, the local football, every one of us has ignored. That's why you see that Dangote wasn't talking about buying Kano pillars all the way. He want to go and buy Arsenal, when the money that he used to buy Arsenal, like I used to buy more than 4 clubs here in Nigeria and run them and make them look competitive. Then that's where we can now go to continent. You see, I remember Ojus Okalu, he invited the then Issa Hayatu, which is the CAF president, down to Aba, come, and he showed him the stadium. Do you know that the Aba Township Stadium doesn't have floodlights? But Issa Hayatu still give go ahead that they should use the stadium. I could remember their semi-final against USMA of Algeria when they played before they now play the final against Ismail of Egypt. That was their first one, 2003. He went getting to dark. Issa Hayatu said this game should play on. Likewise, I remember the second leg of the final against Ismail of Egypt. There was interruption of floodlights, and he stood ground. They waited for 15 minutes. But previously, do you know why Uwanyahu National 3SC could not win it? In the final, we always said they robbed us because at that time, our government doesn't put more focus. So that is it.
What they call him, Ojus Okalu, as at the time Eyimba won it, it was the governor of Abia State. Fine. And you cannot regard him as a private individual. The fund he was injecting into the club was government fund, and that is why Eyimba was able to became the first Nigerian club to win it, and they didn't just win, they won it back to back. So if other state governments can emulate such display by the then governor of Abia, I think our clubs will start giving results.
Well, for me, I feel to an extent that the government needs to play a little role. Maybe not have a hand in the day-to-day running of the clubs, who to buy or whatever, but at least create that enabling environment for the clubs to prosper. You understand? So that situation where the clubs, they are okay, they have some certain laws or stipulations that help the clubs, build from there, but not the government coming in and then taking control of whatever is happening in that club. So but I don't know.
It's not based on finance. The only thing you can say government should, just like you say, maybe the decree 101, the setup which has been causing a lot of havoc for the clubs to run, should be removed. Then that would be a good enable environment for them. But what bothered me most is this, that our individuals, stakeholders that has money like Dangote, the Adenugas, whatsoever, mention them, they most of them refuse to venture into that game of football. Instead of that, now you see that people are building hotels everywhere because they know that Nigeria now will now believe in entertainment than sports itself. no, now you as an individual, can you put money in what you know you won't get return? The answer is no. If you go to abroad now, you see that government doesn't put their hand into the game of football. It's being run by private entity, and that's why they are getting it right.
They've actually gotten to that level where private individuals can conveniently run these clubs. Okay, for the sake, why I said government, for the sake of stability and continuity. If you look at Enyimba today, they've been there over time. If you look at Rangers International of Enugu, they've been there over time. Look at Heartland, they've also been there over time. But you see all this Dakada that you see today, you see all this MFM that you see today, don't be surprised that in the next 3 years you might not see them again. Yes, because these private individuals, when they have private issues, it affects the club holistically, and before you know, the club goes into extinction, and you will not hear anything about the club again. That's what I'm saying. So it's better for you to leave
this today now. It also happens in Europe. Bolton, Portsmouth, Sunderland, they are all a victim of this kind of issue, whereby the private will.
Ask you, where is Udoji United? Where is Iwanyao National today? Okay, why was the owner not able to continue with the running of the club?
That is how it happens in abroad too. You sell where you cannot control, you sell it to another person. If everybody has interest,
and that is what I'm saying, because this private. Okay, how many privately owned clubs have been successful in Nigeria?
Well, okay. Let's just cut it there. It's been a wonderful discussion talking about the Nigerian leagues, and why they've not been doing well in the continent, both in the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup. And we've had my good friends here discuss that topic. So, just 2 seconds, tell us why you feel the teams have not been doing well.
Well, just like I said, and I'll still repeat, for the sake of continuity, which the government will guarantee you, I think that is why I said our club should be run by the state government. So I think the reason why they've not been doing well is because most of them are run by private individuals. So if government can still come in, put in a lot of funds, just like what the Abia state government did some years back, I think our clubs will start giving us.
All right.
Well, privatization. NEPA have been privatized. Other ventures have been privatized. So if they privatize this club too, like now Enyimba, for example, should be privatized to Orji Uzor. If Orji Uzor is still in charge of Enyimba till present day, definitely you will have even won another 3 trophies, in addition to that too, making it 5. So that is it.
All right. That has been our topic for today. Nigerian leagues, why teams haven't been doing well in the continent. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, please leave us a comment, share your view with us, and if you would like to be part of this wonderful panel, please give us a message and we'll contact you on how you can be a part of us. We're always here at Bush Flavors, hanging out, chilling, sharing some laughs. So we would always love to have you. And please like this video and share it among your friends. But if it's your first time, do subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notifications whenever we upload a new content. Thank you for watching once again. We'll be coming again with more content for you when it comes to football, because in football, Wahala no dey finish. I'm your host once again, Noise the Voice. See you next time, but stick around. Our predictions are coming right up.